Would I be the asshole if I told someone the truth about why they were being excluded from group activities? A few years ago, I met my partner's cousin, on his dad's side, for the first time when he came to visit our city. We live on different coasts. I quickly realized this was the type of person I would never hang out with normally, but I was cordial. My partner acknowledged, yeah, Fred's a lot of fun but he can be a bit much. About a year ago we moved to my partner's hometown and have been spending time with his family here, all on his mother's side, and his childhood friends. Coincidentally, his cousin moved here also for work and the family welcomed him warmly, eager to spend time with this cousin they didn't know very well. At first he would be invited to all the things, but over time I noticed he was left out more and more. My partner would ask, "Hey, where's Fred?" and people would groan and make faces. Turns out that I'm not the only one that doesn't like being around him. He was still invited to Thanksgivings and big events like weddings, but casual family get-togethers like a game night or Sunday brunch, people have left him out. And this is a family that does a lot together. He has noticed and actually messaged me asking if I knew why the family isn't including him in things. I guess he sees me as another, outsider, so feels a connection. Would I be the asshole if I told him the truth? Because the truth is that most people don't like his personality. He's loud, abrasive, pushy, and inconsiderate. If you can him out on any of that, he will just say he's fierce, and people need to learn how to deal with it. He changes the energy of any event he gets invited to. When my partner said he could be fun, it's because he will be the one loud one at bar or club, trying to push people to dance, do shots, or drugs, or do karaoke, etc. He will loudly criticize you for ordering a menu item or drink that he disapproves if he doesn't respect other people's preferences, and like myself, my partner's family is mainly introverted. We don't need to come out of our shell, and we know what we like or don't like. We're not kids, all the adults are in their 40s. An example of when we all went to a museum with grandma and the kids. There was a very cool sculpture that had a rope and a sign around it to keep people from getting too close. He wanted a group selfie and insisted we duck under the rope to get it. None of us were comfortable with that but he kept insisting. A few of us started to walk away and he called us PSIES. And then he laughed it off cause he sees that behavior as him being edgy and charming. Last time I was out with him, he sent back his drink order twice because, sweetheart, this isn't how I like my old-fashioned. On top of that, he's often 45+ minutes late to everything. I don't know how to answer his question except with the truth. Your personality and behavior just doesn't mesh well with most people and we just don't enjoy having you around. So would I be the asshole if I do? Or should I just say that I don't know? YWNBTHE asshole, but I don't think it would work out well for you. He's not going to like the answer, and he's going to consider that the answer came from the whole family, because you are telling him why they're making the decisions they are. And then you will be mad at them, probably quite loudly. Plus, you don't have the right to speak for them. If you want to tell him why you don't invite him when you host, that is your right but will probably still get you into trouble. Your best bet here is to say you can't speak for other people, and he needs to ask the family members who are making these decisions why he is excluded. And then I would give you in-laws a heads up. Really, someone ought to tell him. It would be a kindness. But you shouldn't speak for other people. YWNBTA he knows full well what the problem is. He just does not want to hear it. This is not going to go well. If he's a fierce person then be fierce back. Because you're a loud, obnoxious, judgmental asshole and we enjoy our peace. But I personally have no problem being fierce to people like that. Honestly, this is a no-win situation. He's reaching out to you because no matter what you say, he'll spin it to his advantage and play the victim as you aren't part of the family. Pass this shit show off to your partner and tell him that it's his job to handle his family, not yours. Not the asshole. How old is the cousin? I would straight up ask him, do you want the truth or a polite line? If he says the truth say, you don't respect people's boundaries or their preferences and act like a teen at a frat. If he wants a polite line say, your energy does not gel well with some people. Not the asshole but to be honest it's not worth it. People like Fred usually don't take feedback well, and it's just gonna turn into drama, just leave it, saves you the headache. He will just say, people need to learn how to deal with it. Well, it seems people are dealing with it. Am I the asshole for not taking my girlfriend's side after she embarrassed my friend? Throwaway because my girlfriend knows my main Reddit. My girlfriend, 19F, Fiona and I, 21M, have been together for around a month now, and yesterday I brought her to a Christmas party with all of my friends to introduce her to them. Fiona got along with all of them well, though she was understandably a little shy. It also make it difficult for her that most of my friends and I are international students whereas she's born and raised in North America. For context, Fiona doesn't like to cause conflict and often is okay with letting things slide to keep the peace. However, if she's angered, she's also the type to say something and can be a bit of a hothead. That being said, she's extremely sweet and understanding, which makes this situation all the more bizarre for me. Fiona was quiet most of the party, occasionally piping in the conversation and letting it take its course around her. She was holding a bag which I found out today is pretty expensive, around $2,700. My friend Celia pointed out her purse and asked where she got it, to which Fiona explained that it was a gift from her parents. At this, Celia asked what Fiona's parents did. Fiona told her that her mom was a stay-at-home mom and her dad worked in the oil field, and Celia made a face and said, "You know, digging oil is horrible for the environment." At this, Fiona asked Celia if the clothes she was wearing was made of polyester and nylon, if she participated in fast fashion, if she took planes, or used solar-powered energies primarily. And then she asked Celia if she drew the line for being environmentally conscious at someone working hard to support their family. Fiona's tone was light, but I could tell she was angry. The rest of my friends laughed and told Celia that Fiona had a point and moved on. But Celia went quiet afterwards and left soon after. This morning, I got a text message from her that Fiona was extremely rude to her and that she didn't feel comfortable attending parties where Fiona was present anymore, and that while she didn't want to tell me what to do, that she thought I deserved someone better and less snobby. When I told Fiona, she went quiet and told me that the reason she snapped at Celia was because she was purposely acting as if Fiona didn't exist and being snide towards her. I tried to argue that Celia never said anything off-putting save for the oil field comment and that Fiona should just apologize to keep the peace, but Fiona refuses and says I didn't pick up on it because I'm a guy and girls have subtext. Now Fiona and Celia are both upset with me and I feel bad for putting them both in this situation. Am I the asshole for not picking Fiona's side? Update. We broke up, I'm dating Celia now. Just kidding, I apologized to Fiona for not immediately standing up for her and showed her this thread. She's been reading it for the past 2 hours laughing. She has not broken up with me, and I've sent a sternly worded text to Celia telling her that she was being rude and obviously attempting to pick a fight. Celia apparently tried to shit on Fiona to a couple friends, snidely remarking that she's rude, but they acted confused and told Celia she was mistaken. From what I picked up from conversations with friends, Celia was not in love with me as some people suggested, just jealous of Fiona. Also, it is normal in the country Celia is from to ask about parents' occupation, and Fiona said it wasn't weird for her to ask about where the is purse from as she gets it a lot. I am deeply humbled and will now be thoroughly rethinking the way I behave in relation to my GF. Thanks. Loudly crying folded hands. You are the asshole. Honestly, great comeback your girlfriend had to the oil rig comment, and even your friends thought your girlfriend had a point. Also, Celia made such a backhanded comment to your girlfriend and your girlfriend just gave the heat back. You should have taken your girlfriend's side, and honestly Celia is trying to just manipulate you into picking her or your girlfriend. Not sure if she likes you or not, but definitely sus emo. Just weigh who you value more and realize you're jeopardizing your relationship with your girlfriend by not taking her side because she's valid in this scenario. You are the asshole. First of all, who asks someone where they got something expensive from? The fucking shop, duh. You say, I love your purse, and that's it. It's tacky as fuck to go digging for clues like that. What's the point? Maybe she saved up for months, or it was passed down from a grandparent. She wanted a reason to hate on your girlfriend. My stepdad has a skilled blue-collar job and makes bank. I have 10,000% gotten these same comments from people because they're trying to dig up something nefarious since my parents are Mexican immigrants. Tell your friend to mind her damn business. You are the asshole. What exactly was Celia hoping to achieve with her snide comment of, you know, digging oil is horrible for the environment? Did you expect Fiona to just take it or what? Would you have taken Fiona's side if she had said nothing but told you it upset her later? Celia embarrassed herself and got justifiably put in her place by Fiona. You're being a shitty boyfriend. You are the asshole. That friend was rude for absolutely no good reason and attacked your girlfriend's family. If you care about this girl at all, or want any sort of future for this relationship, you should be thanking God she's this loyal to family. Your friend sounds extremely rude and jealous, and you need to ask her for an apology for your girlfriend if you want to keep her in your life. You are the asshole. Your girlfriend did not say anything rude. I see that there is a smaller form of self-defense. Celia made a comment about your girlfriend dad's job which could be seen as hostile, and your girlfriend replied in kind. Your girlfriend might be right that there were cues you might not have picked up on, not due to your gender but due to the fact that the remarks were not directed towards you. Fiona should just apologize to keep the peace. Oh, you're one of those. Fiona kept the peace. It's Celia making a damn issue. Celia bloody well started it. If she can't handle it, she shouldn't dish it out. So, how long ya held a torch for dear CC? I can only assume that's the case, since you took her side. Fiona did nothing wrong. All she did was point out your friend's hypocrisy. Saying, keep the peace, means, I don't want to deal with this, so compromise your morality and ethics, and make my life stress-free because that's all I care about. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling a woman to stop humming during a classical music concert? My fiancé and I enjoy going to live classical music concerts as a special date night. Yesterday, I spent $110 on 2 front row seats for holiday music we were excited for. Not even 15 seconds after the music started, the woman directly behind me began loudly humming with the music. At first, I tried to ignore it, hoping she'd stop, but she just kept going. It wasn't subtle, it was loud. You could see her being overly touchy with her husband as well, and she was clearly drunk. The husband at one point said something around the lines of her needing to stop as it's not polite, but the wife laughed it off. But I was becoming incredibly mad at this point. I'm not a confrontational guy, I hate confrontation. But I was just brewing the entire time. But my fiancé seemed to not have directly noticed, so I didn't want to cause a scene or ruin her night. But 30 minutes into the concert, I told my fiancé I needed to say something. I can't hear the music and I was frustrated. That's when my fiancé noticed and told me it's okay and not to make a scene. Maybe 5 minutes later, the woman behind me began singing. Straight singing. If you're not familiar with classical music etiquette, you don't sing, you don't hum, you don't make sound, you don't tap your feet. This is when I turned around, directly looked at the woman and said, "Ma'am, please stop." The woman looked confused, asked me to repeat, and I said, "Ma'am, please stop. I've been listening to you the entire concert." She then hand-waved me away out of embarrassment. The husband didn't even want to look at me, he looked embarrassed. I could hear others laughing after I said that to her. You could hear the whispers of others giggling and repeating what I said to their significant other. But guess what? She didn't stop. She tapped me on the shoulders 5 minutes later to apologize and I waved her away. I didn't want to accept any apology, I was frustrated, and I didn't want to acknowledge her. If it wasn't for my fiancé being able to enjoy most of the show, I would have asked for a refund or for someone to ask her to leave. But I do feel bad because my fiancé, now more tuned to the sound, she became frustrated with the humming. The woman was directly next to my ear, but my fiancé, though next to me, was just a bit further and at an angle that made it as to why she didn't notice at first. But she then said something to the woman asking her to be quiet. And again, no change. Honestly, when the concert ended at the hour mark, I didn't want to look at that woman, I didn't want to do anything but leave. I paid $110 to listen to a woman hum in my ear for an hour. It was a lesson in patience, but not in a good way. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for telling her to stop? Should I have escalated it to staff or handled it differently? I genuinely am not a confrontational guy. I've never been in this position before. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable, so for me to have said anything is very out of character. Not the asshole. We've all been there, some annoying nonsense when you've paid good money for tickets, then on top of it the concern that if you bring it up to others that it might ruin the experience for them. Maddening. Gently, fiancé was wrong, you weren't making a scene. Miasha Brugergosman was, shout out to our Canuck cantante. You did nothing wrong by addressing the woman's outrageous behavior directly. Next time, you might decide to ask an usher to deal with her. Not the asshole, but this is when you as quietly and politely as possible move to the end of the row, find an usher or other person with authority, and lodge a complaint. Especially someone drunk, they'll generally take care of it for you. Not the asshole. She shouldn't have shown up drunk. You had every right to ask her to stop. No one wants to hear a drunk person at a classical concert. I'm amazed an usher didn't kick her out when she started singing. Next time, get an usher and do try and get a refund. You didn't get to hear the concert, you didn't get what you'd paid for. She probably ruined other people's nights too. Ushers are paid to handle these issues. Not the asshole, and you're absolutely correct about classical music etiquette. For what it's worth, I also can't stand this behavior at rock concerts. I know the vibe is very different, but I resent paying money to hear the show when half the audience is singing along with the vocals. Usually not very well either. Not the asshole. As a classical musician, I don't practice and perfect my craft for people like this to ruin it for others. Am I the asshole? My relative took some toys for her grandkids without asking me. I have various family members visiting with their kids around the year. They bring their kids, and as the fun uncle, I take them around town and see the sights and parks. This time I had a pile of new toys that I had been saving to give to a charity, and this relative, Heather, asked me why I had so many. I explained the situation and that I was giving them in remembrance of my mom, since she loved kids. Heather then mentioned that her very young granddaughters might appreciate a couple of the toys too. I just looked at her and said no. It's not that I don't give the kids in the family presents, but these were not for them. We didn't discuss it again. The following day Heather left to go back home whilst I was at work. When I returned, I was told by family that she had asked them if she could take a couple of the toys. Now Heather is quite forceful and the other family member was a bit cowed, and kind of just mentioned maybe she should wait for me to get home. Heather overrode their objections and took the toys and left. I was obviously pissed when I got home to that news and rang her straight away. She claimed that the charity, it's a children's hospice, wouldn't miss a couple of toys and it was too late now as her granddaughters had already opened them and loved them. Heather said it sounded like I was calling her a thief, and she didn't appreciate that and now I had spoiled the joy she would have at seeing the little ones playing with them because of my implication that she had stolen them. I was so furious that I slammed the phone down and didn't speak to her again for around 4 months. Now during that time she would ring and my other relatives would answer the call and chide me for not forgiving Heather. When I finally did talk to her she said she would no longer allow herself to feel guilty for what she had done and I could not sit in judgment over her and make her feel bad. Now I know she's a complete and utter asshole for what she did. But my family are telling me to drop it as it's been months and I'm causing an unnecessary fuss. I have decided to be civil since she's ill but I really can't forgive her for not only taking those toys but also not being able to feel like I can trust her my home if she ever visits again. So am I the asshole for still being a judgmental bastard and not truly forgiving her? Edit. Didn't realize this would get this many responses, if only my HomeKit query did. Just to clarify, Heather's reasoning for not being a thief is that she informed my wimpy relative that she was taking the toys. So it can't be stealing if she told one of the family she was taking them. Heather said it sounded like I was calling her a thief. She is a thief. She asked you. You said no. She took them anyway. And remind them she stole from the charity. Tell the family members still giving you grief that you'll forgive her when she pays for what she stole or buys and donates gifts of the same value to the charity she stole from. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. 1. She asked you said, no, as the toys were for charity. 2. She took them when you were not home so you would not know she was stealing them. 3. So what if the next time she visits, she sees shoes that you bought for yourself or another family member and decides those new shoes would be perfect for her husband, cousin, oldest grandchild so takes the shoes without asking. Ask your relatives that say you should drop it if they will be allowing her to visit their home and take whatever items she can't do without. Or, my daughter can use this much more than the owner relative so she just takes their items. Terrible relative. Not the asshole. If she is stealing from sick kids, she will totally steal something else from you. Not the asshole. Never forgive that. She did steal. Forgiveness comes when the other person recognizes what they did and feels bad. She thinks she's justified in stealing from you. Yes, be civil in front of everyone else. But me, when I leaned in for a hug, I'd whisper in her ear, we both know you are a thief. Back up and smile and loudly say how nice it is to see her. If she tried to say I said anything, I would deny it to my dying breath. Most likely she would be too stunned to say a word, but either way, it works to squash a bully. Not the asshole. She stole the toys, she is a thief. In all honesty, it says volumes about her and those that are defending her. They don't respect you or your property. Not the asshole in the slightest. She couldn't even respect your decision when you said no. That is disrespect to you and what you got those toys for. She's a thief and nothing she says can excuse that she chose to disrespect you by stealing.